こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。今日は、アジア最高峰のMBA ですね。香港夏季大学 HKUST の MBA のアドミッションの方が来てくれています。で、HKUST は、アジアでも最高峰の学校で、今日のタイトルにもあるんですけれども、マッキンゼーとかゴールドマンとかGAFAとかですね、ヘッジファンドとか PE ファンド。少しコロナの影響で、香港は結構ね、そのクアランティーンって隔離期間があったりして、コロナの最中は少し行くのがね、難しかったりとかしたんですけれども、最近はそれも、そのリストレクションも、コロナの隔離期間もなくなって、非常に香港にやっぱり興味が戻ってきていて、行きたいとか、あと、卒業した後に香港でそのままヘッジファンドとか、ファンド系のキャリアを歩みたいとかですね、あと不動産系の方とかは結構興味を持って来られる方もすごく多かったりするんですが、そういった HKUST のアドミッションが今回来てくれました。で、卒業後のキャリアも、具体的に今日お話しいただきますけれども、卒業後3ヶ月間に得られ95% 以上の人がすぐに職を得たりとかですね、やっぱりそれだけのブランドと、あとは中のプログラムもしっかりしているので、かなりね、人気がある学校の一つです。で、次の締め切りが1月の11日で、そうすると2023年の秋から入学ができます。で、HKST は1月11日締め切りといっても、テストスコアはその1ヶ月後とかですね、その後に出しても大丈夫というか、そのあたりも今日は詳しくお話ししていきますけれども、十分今から準備をして、2023年の入学に間に合いますので、ぜひ香港行きたいとか、あとやっぱりアジアで事業をしたいとかですね、特にあと金融系のキャリアでそのまま香港に行きたいとか、そういう方もぜひご相談いただければと思います。で、HKUST は他のですね、コロンビアとか、アメリカ、あと LBS とか、そういった交換留学に行けるプログラムもあったりするので、ぜひね、そのあたりもご興味がある方は見ていただくといいと思います。では、アドミッションの方にプログラムの詳細を説明いただいて始めようと思います。So, Uzi-san, please start your presentation.
Sure. Thank you very much. So first of all, thank you for having us tonight to talk to the audience. And thank you so much for joining us. So first of all, I'm Usalina, manager from the marketing and admissions team for the HKUST MBA programs. In the coming 15-20 minutes, I'm going to share with you some key program information, and you will get to understand what we actually offer and support you for your future career aspiration. So first of all, before we look at, maybe you're considering which MBA programs, or if you want to, pursue an MBA program in the future, let's take a look at what the future will need from you. So when we're looking at MBA, it's always a very important investment in your life. Usually for a good MBA, people will go for, only one good MBA during their lifetime. Now let's look at in the year of 2050, would your skill set be still relevant? What type of people the future world would need? So according to the United Nations, the world population has just passed the 8 billion mark. And in 2050, it's expected to be 9.8 billion people in the world. And the growth mainly comes from some growing countries, developing countries. So for example, some in Asia. So which means in the future, what would your focus be in terms of, demographic, or in terms of where you want to, develop your future career? And according to a recent report from the Goldman Sachs, Asia will be taking around 50% of the global GDP in around the year of 2050. So which means if you're already in Asia, congratulations, you're in the right region, for the future of economy. And in the past 25 years, maybe the economy was more, US-centric, but then in the future, there will be a shift, and there will be different opportunities coming up from this part of the world. And coming to business of technology, now we're talking about Web, 3.0. There may be in the future, we will have Web, 5.0, 6.0, and 7.0. And what you are mastering, your work nowadays may be quite different in the future. So there will be a growing demand on, business technology, AI, big data. So it's time to rethink if your current skill set would be still relevant in the near future. And of course, with the global warming of the world, especially the recovery of pandemic, some companies are actually putting more and more focus on, ESG, SDG. So which means the understanding on, ESG frameworks may be a good option for you to add in your CV so that your skill set will be more relevant. So now let's take a look at how MBA at HKUST will prepare you to be a future leader, not only for now, but in the future. So first of all, let's look at how we design our curriculum. So for our curriculum, we basically categorize our courses on, core courses, they're required for you, and on flexible course and electives, which you can, tailor make your own MBA study. So at HKUST, the curriculum is actually one of the most flexible curriculums in Asia. So which means what you will be studying will be quite different from your peers because everything will be based on your career planning and your personal interest. So first of all, you will start with core courses that will cover different areas, for example, marketing, for example, management, for example, corporate finance, finance accounting, operation management. And after core courses, you will move on to a higher flexibility on choosing your preferred flexible course and electives. And all these courses are categorized into 5 key areas. So they are business technology, consulting strategic management, finance, sustainable leadership, and marketing. So as I said, you can mix and match your own combination. So it would be good if you can think ahead on what you want to achieve through the MBA. So when you come to courses selection, you'll be able to make a wise choice for yourself. And coming to the study, around 70% of your credits would be based on your own selection. So for example, if you want to go for more soft skill training, we have negotiation courses, managerial communications. If you want to go for more, finance related, then you can choose, for example, VC, private equity courses. If you want to focus more on management consulting, then there is a course on management consulting that you can take. Coming to flexibility, you can choose on different duration. You can go for the standard 16-month program duration, or you can go for the accelerated track, which would be of 12 months. So let's take a deeper look at 2 key focuses of our courses. As I mentioned, in year 2050, all of us, may be required to take up leads on, driving business with technology. So that's why now we want to prepare you for the future. That's why in the curriculum, we have courses such as transforming business with artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, blockchain, big data, and you will also get a chance to learn, programming language Python as well. So we believe with all these training, you will be prepared to think about, business decisions with support of technology. We are not asking you to, be very, very technical, but you will need to know the potential and limitation on technology on business. The next focus will be on sustainable leadership, corporate sustainability. As I mentioned, with the recovery from the pandemic, many companies are actually, putting aside a budget or, manpower resource on developing on this area. That's why we have developed courses to help you understand, the framework and what is development on this field. For example, some selected courses here on responsible leadership and ethics, ESG investment, green finance. So if you want to focus on this area, that would be a good news for you because we do not only invite our internal professors to teach you, but we also invite external coaches to teach our MBA students so that they bring to you very up-to-date frameworks on, how you can manage, ESG or CSR projects in the future. And talking about learning, of course, you will be learning from a group of very prestigious professors from all over the world. They come from very different backgrounds. So for example, on the top line, we have different academic professors coming from, earning their PhD from top-notch universities. For example, Professor Alan Huang, he's teaching our crypto, blockchain courses, which is very popular among our current students. And Professor Stephen Nason, he teaches our management courses. And Professor Oh Chan Kwong, he teaches our technology entrepreneurship course, and he earned his PhD from Harvard. And on the second line, we have some professors, we call them, adjunct professors, representing different professional fields in the business world. So they bring to you, real life, highly practical frameworks and knowledges in order to help you to, roll out very, practical ideas in the future. So for example, Professor Larry Franklin, he used to lead the investment and legal counsel in Hutchison Whampoa, which is a conglomerate in Hong Kong. And Professor Chris Doran, he earned his MBA in INSEAD, but he was working in McKinsey, and he's now teaching on management consulting. And Professor Caroline Wang, she used to be the VP of marketing in IBM. And at her time, she was one of the very few senior female leaders in the business world. And she's, going to teach our students on managerial communications, which will bring to you very valuable soft skill through your MBA study. And apart from studying HKUST, you will also gain a very valuable extended resource from our partner schools all over the world. For full-time MBA students, you'll be able to participate in a full semester exchange at one of our partner universities. For example, Yale, for example, in Europe, we have London Business School, HEC, or if you want to extend your network in, mainland China, you can also opt to go for Peking University or Tsinghua. So for this full semester exchange, there will be a selection process, but then you can, choose your priorities based on your, for example, your career development plan or your personal interest in exploring, specific regions. And HKUST is the only member of the GNAM network in Hong Kong, which is the Global Network for Advanced Management. With this, very privileged membership, you will have access to different international exposure opportunities. For example, there's the Global Network Week. And during pandemic, some of our students actually made really good use of the online courses offered by the GNAM network that you can study, online with one of our partners on the GNAM network. And of course, we have a close collaboration with Yale University that you'll be able to gain a dual degree through the MAM program at Yale. Then within, around 2 years' time, you'll be able to get 2 degrees. Okay, and coming to the MBA, peer learning is one of the key parts of your MBA learning. So this is an overview of our Intake 2022 class on the diversity that we bring to the MBA community. So our students, they come from very different backgrounds, marketing, sales, business development, finance, of course, because, Hong Kong is a finance hub. And some relatively more unique, function would be engineering. So learning from all your future classmates, which means you will learn from very different perspective, they're very different, logic business decisions. So that's the beauty of the MBA. And of course, the class represents different nationalities, different years of work experience as well. And in the class of 2022, Intake 2022, actually 91% of students were non-Hong Kong students. So through the MBA, apart from academic study and career developments, which I will cover a bit later on, we highly encourage our students to be motivated and initiate student events, visits, etc. So on this slide, you see some events that some of our students, they actually hosted before or participated. For example, international case competition, with support from our professors. Then some of our students actually prepare themselves for international global case competitions. You will also be introduced to different events. For example, some of our students actually supported at the Hong Kong FinTech Week. So they volunteered in this event, and they also got a chance to interact with, professionals from that field at this, signature event in Hong Kong. And of course, apart from, corporate visits, enrichment talks, we also highly encourage our students to participate in student clubs. You'll be involved in, some cultural events. For example, Japan Club, they actually host a sushi night for the batch this year, which was great. And the Indian student, they actually celebrated the Diwali together. And we also have a social impact club this year that we are so proud of them because they actually helped to clean the sea, picking up some debris from the sea to help to keep the environment clean. So if you're coming to join HKUST, be prepared to be very motivated to host different student events. And coming to next part, I'm going to cover a bit more about career development. Your career will be in good hands during the MBA, but we would, encourage you to be very motivated so that you can maximize your career journey here. So at HKUST, we have a dedicated career team supporting our full-time MBA students on, setting your goals, on looking for the right path for you, on interview preparation, on, coaching services, advisory services. The team also arrange a lot of, career workshops. For example, on the screen, you can see here, in 2022, they actually hosted a career fair. We invited different employers attending the fair, and these employers, they actually only look for, MBA students. So my recommendation to you is if you are preparing to start your MBA, maybe in 2023, it would be good to have you a clear career goal, or maybe, a relatively clear career goal, so that when you start the MBA, you know what directions that you head to. And as I said, you can maximize the resource that we offer you. So for some of you, if you are based in Japan, I'm sure like some of you would have visited Hong Kong before, but just an overview of Hong Kong. Hong Kong remains the, Asia's financial hub. And this is where a lot of, business happening, not only locally, but also globally. Some of the companies, they actually have the regional offices or even headquarters in Hong Kong. So apart from the connection with some, Western countries, we also have a very close connection with mainland China, of course. And with this connection, you will be, opened up a lot of opportunities and business opportunities in mainland China. And Hong Kong is actually part of the Greater Bay Area. So which means Hong Kong itself, it's a great place for startups, especially tech startups. So we are seeing a growing trend here, which would be great for you if you're looking at, developing your career as, a tech or entrepreneur in Hong Kong. So just a bit of career highlights to share with you some key figures. This is from our previous graduating class. As you can see, around 40% of students landed jobs in financial services, and 13% in consulting, 11% in technology. Actually, these three sectors are actually quite common as like top three in the past few years. Technology is definitely on a growing trend. And in terms of geographic location, generally speaking, about half of the class would, decide to stay in Hong Kong and work. So that year we had 65%. Some of the students, they may, decide to return to their home country to work. For example, in our last graduation batch, we had a Japanese student who actually returned to Japan and joined a consulting firm from one of the MBBs. And what you are going to experience in terms of, job search, as I said, you will be in good hand in our career team. And some of the key figures, in our class of 2021, 95% of the students actually found a job within 3 months upon graduation. And 79% actually managed to achieve, job function switch, and 75% on industry switch. So this is just an overview of, the companies who hired our MBA students in recent years. You see some really familiar names, Apple, Google, Citibank, Nomura, Tencent. So this is just a selection of them, and we do have a much wider, a longer list of employing companies through our full-time MBA program. So what you are going to learn through the MBA would be, as important as who you are going to learn from. So this is just a selection of our alumni in the previous graduating years. As you can see some of the, big names on the company. For example, Ms. Kenny Kwok, she's with Bulgaria as managing director. Mr. Saket, who used to, moved from India to Hong Kong, and he's now with Meta, so previously Facebook. And of course, people from, Bain & Company, from Google, from different industries and job functions. So studying HKUST, you will not only be, exposed to the network within the MBA community, but also a wider network of the UST Business School and the UST as a university itself. So coming to some information more related to your application, if you're considering to apply to the MBA program, full-time MBA, we do arrange a wide selection of scholarships and professional awards. If you apply to the MBA program, you basically do not need to do anything extra because all applications will be reviewed automatically for any scholarships. And basically, for the evaluation criteria, we look at your professional background, we look at your academic background, your interview performance, your GMAT score, and of course, on what's the possible contribution for you to the MBA community at HKUST. So if you'd like to know more about the scholarships that we offer, you can scan the code here, and that page will show you more information about the scholarships. Okay, so if you're planning to apply for Intake 2023, actually the upcoming deadline will be on January 11th. If you want to submit your application, and if you are yet to, have your GMAT score or English test score ready, you can submit your score. You can submit your application before you have those official scores. Do note that if you want to get a notification on your scholarship, you need to have your score ready so that we can let you know if you get any scholarship. To apply for the application is very easy. You just need to, scan the code here or go to our website. Then everything's done online, quick and easy. So finally, I highly encourage you to interact with our team, with our current students or with our alumni to get to know a bit more about, the MBA program to make sure it's a good match, between the program and you. If you have any questions, please scan the code here on scheduling a consultation, which will be on one-on-one basis, and we'll be able to give you some advice based on your CV. And we do have different, social channels. Please feel free to follow us so that you can get the most up-to-date information about HKUST MBA program. Okay, so I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention, and hand over to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you. はい。ではですね、ちょっとアドミッションプロセスとかも含めて、一旦、アドミッションのところ、特にアドミッションの受験のところですかね、一旦見たいと思いますが、So could you go back to the slide on which the application process is describing?
Sure. This one?
I think the previous one. Sorry, this is the scholarship. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So this is about the scholarship and the financial aid process. はい、なので、次のアプリケーションの締め切りが1月の11日で3月の8日ですね。で、受験に必要なものは基本的に他のどの MBA も大体そのセットは同じで、レジュメとエッセイと、あと大学のとか大学院の成績表っていうのは必要なので、そういうのはご自分で取り寄せて皆さん出されるんですけど、で、それが終わる、その審査が終わって通ると、今度インタビューに呼ばれて、で、インタビューでお話しするっていう形になります。で、ちょっとこのスライドにはなかったんですけれど、テストですね、よく テストの心配をされる方がいて、例えば1月11日だと、あと1ヶ月ないくらいなんですけど、テストスコアは特に HKUST とかの場合は、先にレジュメ、エッセイとかを提出して、で、インタビューをして、で、その後出すとかですね、あるいはこのデッドラインの大体1ヶ月くらい後までに出せば、そこで、ラウンド2ならラウンド2で考慮してもらえるので、そんなに今テスト全然やってないっていうね、度合いにもよるんですけれども、今テストを受けてない方も、間に合います。で、テストスコアはね、一応テストを受ける必要は、あるんですけれども、そのあたりはいろいろやり方がありますので、ぜひ聞いていただければと思います。で、今日のお昼もちょうど動画を撮って、日銀のですね、金利の引き上げっていうのが発表されて、これから景気がどんどんさらにですね、後退していくとかっていう局面に入っていくっていう話をしましたけれども、本当にですね、HKST とかも来年から行くことができますし、あとはさっきエクスチェンジプログラムを少し見せていただいてたんですけど、香港に行ったとしても、アメリカとか、ヨーロッパとかですね、他のその大学とのエクスチェンジで、違う文化でも学ぶことができるので、そのエクスチェンジはですね、香港行きたいけれども、やっぱりちょっとアメリカも興味あるとかですね、せっかく会社を辞めたり休職して MBA 行くのであれば、アメリカとかヨーロッパとか、そっちにも行ってみたいっていう方も結構多くてですね、すごく気持ちもわかりますし、やっぱりアジアと欧米で文化とかも違うので、そこのね、結構エクスチェンジプログラムは興味を持っていきたいという方も非常に多くなっておりますので、ぜひ行きたいという方はいつでもご相談いただければと思います。So, Ushi-san, could you go back to the slide on which the exchange program?
Sure.
で皆さんご質問とかコメントがあれば、YouTube のコメント欄にどんどん入れていただければ、日本語で構いませんので、ミッションの方に聞きますので、入れていただければと思います。はい。そうですね。これがインターナショナルエクスチェンジプログラムで、1学期間行けるということなんで、イェール、UC バークレー、LBS、イエセ、シーブス、HEC パリス、北京大学、清華大学と、世界の本当にトップの大学と、トップの MBA が並んでますけれども、こういった学校にエクスチェンジプログラムで行くことができます。So, Ushi-san, if there are any requirement for student to get the exchange program position, if there are any application or some selection process?
Yes. So basically, for the exchange program, we do have a selection process. Each of the full-time MBA students would be able to, choose a number of schools that they want to go for, and the selection process would be on, with our exchange team, and that would be, for example, on your academic performance, on your participation in the HKUST MBA community activities. So yes, that would be a selection process. So what we are going to do is for our full-time MBA students, when they join the program, they will meet our exchange team colleague, and they will share with them, on how that actually works, the timeline that they have to pay attention to when if they want to go on exchange. One thing I do want to highlight is exchange is a very good opportunity for our MBA students to experience education not only from HKUST but also with our partners. So for example, if you are coming to Hong Kong, in Asia, you have the MBA, but then you also want to add that European learning experience in your MBA, then maybe you can go to HEC or LBS. It's depending on what you want from the MBA, but it definitely adds on that sense of diversity in your MBA learning. But do note that if you go on a full semester exchange, you have to be very cautious about there may be chance that you miss the employment window in Hong Kong because you won't be in Hong Kong, you can't attend job interview in person. So that's the thing that our students need to prioritize and decide when they come and consider if they want to go on a full semester exchange or not.
Okay. So which timing is the exchange program, the first, second, or third semester?
Usually it's in the second year. So which means, they start studying in the MBA program for around 1 year time, and then they can move on to the exchange program. So that would apply to the full duration of 16 months, because we have the 12-month and 16-month. So basically, after you complete the first 12 months, and then the 13th to 16 months will be where you go on exchange. So that's like an add-on, on top of the accelerated 12 months mode. So for example, if, after you complete the 12 months, you decided, oh, okay, I prefer to, start looking for jobs, then you stay in Hong Kong for maybe internship, or you can start taking up, full-time jobs if you already completed all the required credits that you need for graduation.
Okay, so the exchange program selection process is so competitive. About what percentage of students are getting chance to their desired program?
So in general, I would say quite a high percentage of students will be able to go on exchange, and some of the schools, of course, they are, highly popular. For example, Yale, right? And for these very prestigious programs, they also, offer, smaller number of seats for international exchange students. So my recommendation would be when you start the MBA program, when you meet the exchange team, do pay attention to the requirements on, selection for exchange program for that particular year. I would say it's actually quite consistent year from year, but do pay attention to the selection criteria so that you can, work on preparing for the selection process for the exchange program.
Okay, thank you. And the last question is the dual degree program with Yale University. This is an MBA and Master in Asset Management.
Advanced management. So that's like a master program from Yale University that's open to only MBA students all over the world.
So what MAM is what program?
Master in Advanced Management.
Advanced Management, okay. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thanks.
なので、ちょっと交換留学のプログラムについて伺ったんですけど、セレクションのプロセスがあって、行くのは1年目12ヶ月 HKC で終わって、2年目の13から16ヶ月目ということなので、1学期間の交換留学に行けますよということで、コンペティティブではあるんですけど、結構、あとね、イェールとか、すごく人気があったりっていう話はあるみたいなんですけれども、しっかりと理科が必要な単位とかを揃えて、あとアカデミックスコアとかっていうことも見られるそうなので、交換留学に方はあらかじめね、戦略的に授業を取ったりとか、課外活動をしたりとかですね、していくといいかなと思いますし、アルファから行かれた方も交換留学で他の学校に行かれている方もいますし、そのあたりはご自分のキャリアに合わせて結構人気たい学校を選んでたりするので、ぜひ、交換留学興味あるという方もいいかなと思います。そうですね。そうしたらちょっとご質問も来てるんですけど、あとですね、ちょっとクラスプロファイルのところを見たいと思うんですけど、So, could you move on to the slide with the student profile is describing?
Sure. This one?
Yes, this one. So the major student background is the top 3 is marketing, sales, in finance and business development. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
はい。なのでですね、これを見ると、各年によってね、少し差はあると思うんですけど、このマーケティング、セールスっていう人が 18% くらいいて、学校によってだいぶこのスチューデントバックの、生徒さんのバックグラウンドって違うんですけど、セールスっていわゆる営業とか、あとマーケティングも、マーケティングと言いつつ、マーケティングプラスセールスみたいなところもあるので、もちろんビジネスデベロップメントとかファイナンスとか、いわゆるなんか経営とかファイナンスとか、あとコンサルとかの方も多いんですけど、結構営業とかですね、あとマーケティング 兼営業みたいなことをやられてる方も言ってたりするので、よく営業しかやってないとMBA いけないんですかとか、そういうご質問とかご相談があるんですけど、いつも動画で言ってる通りですね、本当にいろいろなバックグラウンドの方が言ってるので、なんか自分はそんなコンサルとか、経営とかやってないからと思わずに、ぜひ挑戦していただくと、すごくね、素晴らしいキャリアチェンジができるんじゃないかなと思います。あとはそうですね、GMAT のスコアもちょっとこの右側に書いてあるんですけど、650ぐらいが平均で、だいたい560から760ぐらいのレンジがあるんですよね。なので、760とかってだいぶ上なので、上を見ると上のかなりハイスコアの方もいるんですけど、560とかですね、GMAT の点数も選考要素の一つなので、そんなにですね、なんかすごいハイスコアじゃなきゃ入れないっていうわけでもなくって、やっぱりエッセイとかレジュメとか、その他の要素が非常に大事になってきますし、さっきも申し上げたように、特に HKUST の場合は、先にレジュメとかエッセイとか、レコメンデーションとかですね、そういったものを提出して、その、1ヶ月後まで、デッドラインの1ヶ月後にテストスコアを出せば、そこは許容して一緒にそこのラウンドで見てくれますので、先にエッセイとかレジュメとかでアピールしつつですね、あとはテストスコアを出すっていうので、大体アルファが受ける方は、レジュメとかエッセイとか先に出してっていうタイプの方がね、とても多いので、あまりね、テストに時間をかけすぎずに、ぜひレジュメとかエッセイとか一緒に準備していかれるといいと思います。はい。ではちょっとご質問が来ているので、ちょっとご質問の方に移っていきたいと思います。So let's move on to the Q&A session with the audience. じゃあちょっと最初に日本語で質問を読んで、英語で伺っていきたいと思います。一番最初のクエスチョンはですね、フィンテック分野でのスタートアップや企業に興味がありますが、MBA でもフィンテック関連の授業はあるのでしょうかということですね。So, there is a lot of question from audience. And the first question is about classes related to fintech. So I am interested in be an entrepreneur in fintech industry. Is there any classes related to fintech within the MBA program?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. Yes, so basically, business technology is one of the key highlights, of the HKUST MBA program, on top of the, foundational, management and leadership training. As I mentioned, the MBA program is, designed based on 5 different categories, and one of the key pillars, it's actually on business technology. And this is also the key direction of the business school as well, because we do focus a lot on, green finance, fintech. That's one of the key developments, which means we do not only develop knowledge for students only from the MBA's perspective, but also we are gaining a lot of resources from the whole business school. So that's great for our MBA students. And it's good to hear, that candidate is interested in fintech, because, if you have been doing, some research on MBA programs, HKUST is actually doing, quite well on this, because for us, for this business technology focus, we have developed this for a number of years, so we are actually quite specialized on that. For students, if you're not coming from fintech background, tech background, as I said, we actually take a gradual upskill approach, so which means you can start with some easier level courses, and then during the MBA you can move up the level to more complicated levels, to learn more difficult fintech ideas. So yes, for the HKUST MBA, we do have a lot of resources supporting our MBA students. That's why in the student activities that you saw, some of our students actually volunteered at the Hong Kong FinTech Week, which is one of the key events in Hong Kong on that particular field, that our students are very motivated to develop their network and further strengthen their knowledge on this field as well.
Thank you. なので、そのフィンテックの分野は結構 HKST も強くて、最初の方にスライドがあったと思うんですけど、その SDG とかですね、結構投資の分野は特に HKST 強い、香港の中でも強い学校なので、フィンテックの授業とかも取ってる人もいますし、そこに集中して、その後のご質問にもありますけど、結構現地でそのままインターンしたりっていう方もいますね。はい。じゃあちょっと次のご質問で、在学中にインターンはできるのでしょうかっていうご質問ですね。So, the next question is about internship. So, can students do their internship during the program? I mean, full-time internship.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yes, for our full-time MBA students, they can opt for a full-time MBA internship or a part-time MBA internship. So for MBA internship, there could be a limitation on number of hours you can do per week, based on your student visa. So this is something that you have to pay attention to. And each year we do have a good number of students taking up either full-time or part-time internships. We also highly encourage our students to go for that because, it gives you a chance to experience maybe something new and also experience the, local working culture here in Hong Kong. To give it a try in a desired company. So it's a great way for our MBA students to prepare for the future, MBA career. And beyond that, if some of our students, they are, looking at, staying in Hong Kong after the MBA for full-time jobs, Hong Kong actually have a very favorable visa policy for all, full-time non-local students. Upon graduation, they can apply for a visa, which is called IANG visa, IANG visa, that will allow them to stay in Hong Kong for a period of time. So the Hong Kong government actually just extended the period from 1 year to 2 years, hoping to, attract, international talents to stay in Hong Kong. So it's a great way for our MBA students to stay in Hong Kong with that visa. And that visa is very easy to apply for. Basically, once you graduate, you can apply for that. And there is no, other specific requirements to apply for the visa as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
はい。なので、学生ビザなので、フルタイムのジョブは限りがあるんですけど、でも、フルタイムのインターンはもちろんできますということで、そのまま現地のその就職につながったりもするので、確かにアルファの生徒さんでも現地でインターンをして、そのままジョブを得てる方とかもいます。で、香港のビザは比較的、取りやすいというかですね、最近もその卒業してから現地で働けるっていうのが1年から2年に伸びたっていうことなので、世界から優秀な学生さんをそのままね、香港で働いてほしいっていうのも、そういう意図もあって2年に伸びたということなので、チャンスも広がってるかなと思います。はい。ですね。次が、1クラスあたりの人数、日本人の割合について教えてくださいということで、1クラスというのは1学年ということなのかなと思いますけれども、So, what is a class size in 1 year cohort, and how many Japanese students are there in 1 year?
Sure. So as you can see the slide here, that's from our intake 2022 class. So, the class just came to Hong Kong a few months back. During COVID. For this class, we had 54 full-time MBA students. And from this class, if I don't remember wrong, I think we had around 7 students from Japan. For the Japanese community, they actually are very, very closely tied. They have a very strong, sense of community within, the HKUST society. Apart from Japanese students that you will get to meet, we also have some very supportive Japanese alumni as well. They're based in Japan, they're based in Singapore, and they're very happy to meet our prospective candidates. So if any of you you have any network with our HKUST MBA community and any Japanese alumni, I do highly encourage you to talk to them and get to understand more about how studying in HKUST MBA is. And as I showed about the student club activities, this year we actually have a Japanese club. Which bring a great sense of the Japanese culture to the MBA community. Sometimes in the past, for example, they celebrated festival with the mochi ponding ceremony, which is great. They do it in our MBA lounge, and this year they bring the sushi making workshop to their peers. So for our Japanese community, they are very strong and very supportive to each other.
Thank you. ので、1クラスはここにある通り、この年は54人ということなので、非常に少ないというか、アメリカとかね、数百人みたいなところに比べると、すごくクラスサイズも小さいので、かなりタイトなコミュニティなんですよね。で、アルファから行った方も、今もジャパニーズアラムナイ、卒業生の方とかも、日本に戻って就職している方もいますし、香港にいる方もいるし、あとシンガポールとか行かれる方もいるので、そのアラムナイとのね、つながりとかっていうのもすごく強いというかですね、みんなサポーティブだということですね。で、日本人の方は、この54人に対して7人なので、どうですかね、7分の1、8分の1くらいですかね。はい。なので、このクラスサイズはすごく小さいというか、何百人とかいう単位ではないので、結構、なんでしょう、タイトニットなコミュニティで、比較的、なんかちゃんと仲良くなりたいというかですね、そういう人間関係を築きたい人とかは結構小さいクラスサイズを好まれる方は多かったりしますね。はい。あとですね、最近の日本人の在校生の人たちはどんなところに就職されていますか？香港に就職される方も多いのでしょうか？日本に戻られている人がほとんどですか？ということですね。The next question is career opportunity after graduation. What is major career destination after graduation for Japanese student? And what percentage of Japanese students are getting job after graduation in Hong Kong?
Sure. To be very honest, it very much depends on, each individual's career planning. In the past, we do see, some students, they, may prefer to stay in Hong Kong. And of course, some of them would prefer to return to Japan. As I see from, my interaction with different candidates from Japan, I do see quite a lot of them, they, would like to return to Japan, bring that international experience, learning experience from Hong Kong, from MBA at HKUST, and then bring that back to the home country. But we do also have, alumni staying in Hong Kong after they graduate. I would say our students are actually quite mobile, in terms of where they want to work. So it very much depends on, where you want to be after the MBA. It's not only, about Japanese students, but even, for our students coming from Europe or from America. It very much depends on where they want to stay. Some of them, they may, stay in Hong Kong for maybe 1 or 2 years and then return to their home country. And they may start to, take care of some business tasks related to Hong Kong, to Asia, or to mainland China. So for example, a few years back, we had a student from France. He came to Hong Kong, and worked in Hong Kong for 2 years. And then after that, he returned to France and taking up a very senior role with a luxury brand in France, building that business bridge with Asia. So really very much depends on, where you want to work after the MBA. I mean, it would be good to, think ahead of it before the MBA, and then during the MBA, talk to the career advisors to get a better sense on, what's the job requirement in Hong Kong. Of course, if you stay in Hong Kong, you need to do some sort of research if you want to stay in Hong Kong and work. But of course, you will be, lined up with our career coaches. Then they will give you some very valuable advices.
Thank you. なので、その方のやりたいこととかによってね、もちろんキャリアの行き先っていうのは変わってくるんですけど、香港で就職される方ももちろん一定数いますし、日本人の大学生に限らず、別にどの国から来た人でも香港で働く方もいるということなんですけど、あとキャリアコーチとかも学校にいるので、香港で働きたければ、その香港で働くための要件とかですね、あとどういうジョブマーケットがあるのかっていうのをリサーチしてアプライしましょうということですね。アルファからも香港に行って、そのままもともと別に非金融キャリアでも、香港の金融の会社に入ったりする方もいますし、ぜひそのあたりにもご相談いただければと思います。では次ですね。次が最後かなと思いますが、奨学金やスチューデントローンはありますかということで、最後にスカラシップが書いてあったと思うんですけど、少し聞いていきたいと思います。So could you explain details for the student loan and scholarships?
Sure. So let me go to the scholarship slide. Okay. So for international students, if you would like to, get some study loans, there are some, financial institutes that offer international study loans that you can, explore, on Google. For scholarships, we do support, bright candidates through different scholarships. So we have one type of MERS scholarship that's more for, people coming from, really great academic achievement, professional achievement, as I said, interview performance as well. But we also have different categories of scholarship and professional awards. So for example, we have entrepreneur award. Some of the audience asked about, being an entrepreneur after the MBA. If you're coming from entrepreneur background, so maybe we'll consider you an entrepreneur award. For example, Global Citizen Award, that's for students who have gained, international experience from work or from study, that we believe that would, contribute to the growth of the community here at HKUST. We also have a Terry Zhang MBA admission scholarship. That MBA scholarship is actually sponsored by one of our MBA graduates. He wants to contribute back to the growth of the community. That's why he is, donating that money to us to help us to, attract students from all over the world. We also have Women Awards, for female candidates. That would be a great opportunity for you if you get this award to support your MBA study. So as I mentioned, for applications, you basically do not need to do anything extra for your application, but do remember to prepare a very strong personal statement, because as I said, we want to review, different perspective when we announce any scholarship. So the personal statement would be something that you have to, consider, take some time to prepare for that. For the statement, we will be looking at different, areas, but one of those would be, for example, to understand how you tackled challenges and how resilient you are, as a future MBA leader. So do take a look at the application process. On our website, we have a page listing out different stages of the application process. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our MBA consultants on what you can prepare and prepare well for your MBA application. Thank you.
Thank you. So students don't need to submit another application beside their main application for the scholarships.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. な
Thanks.
ので、はい。スカラシップはここにある通りですね、いろんな種類があって、メリットスカラシップっていう、ものとかですね、あと、ワークアチーブメントとか、その提出書類に応じて、その 追加でエッセイとか出さずに、元々のアプリケーションの中で、ワークエチーブメント、主にレジュメとかですね、何をやってきたというところとか、あと国際的な経験とか、アカデミックパフォーマンス、成績とかですね、あとテストスコアとか、あとインタビューのパフォーマンスっていうのを見て、ここで決めてくれるそうなので、特に追加で資料を出す必要はないんですけど、こういうところも意識してアプリケーション出されるといいんじゃないかなと思いますし、結構ですね、アジアの MBA、HKUST も含めては、アメリカとか、欧米に比べると、日本人の方でも結構スカラシップもらっていってる方もアルファでもいたり、結構いたりしますので、ぜひ皆さん、ここもアルファにかなりですね、奨学金の獲得については、学校からのスカラシップも、あと、大型の結構財団系の奨学金もアルファの方たくさんもらっている方いるので、ぜひご相談いただければと思います。あとですね、ちょっとここにあったので、一つ言うと、このウーマンアワードっていうのは多分女性限定のものだと思うんですけど、やっぱり女性って、全体的には 43% くらいって書いてあったので、結構、その全体のクラスでは多いんですけど、日本人とかの方でね、女性でやっぱり MBA 行く方ってまだまだ少ないので、意外とこの女性限定のスカラシップはですね、アメリカとトップスクールとかでも取ってる人がいたりするので、チャンスかなと思います。なので、女性の方とかはね、特に、やっぱり競争率が少ないというかね、受ける母数が少ないし、結構 MBA のとか、各学校が女性の比率をやっぱ増やしたいっていうところは最近のトレンドとしてあるので、結構チャンスがあるんじゃないかなと思います。はい。あと、スチューデントローンはどうですか？ So, do you have any student loan in your school program?
No, we do not. But I know there are some, international financial institutes that they do arrange, financial loan for some of our full-time MBA students.
Okay.
うん。
Thank you. なので、特に学校からのローンはないんですけど、スカラシップもらっていくのと、あとは日本からそのままいろいろ政策金融高校とかですね、あと財団系の奨学金とか、いろいろ資金源もありますので、そのあたりもぜひアルファにもご相談いただければと思います。はい。では、ご質問は以上ですかね。じゃあ最後にちょっと締め切り情報をもう一回見て、コメントをいただいて終わりたいと思います。So that's all for the Q&A session. And could you give us some remarks and deadline information?
Sure. So we do have, different rounds of MBA application for the full-time MBA. Some of you may be asking, what will be the differences between the several rounds. If you are keen to, start your MBA application soon, start your MBA study for the intake 2023, I would highly recommend you to go for round 2, because in general, if you want to, give it a try for scholarships, I would say round 2, you probably would get, a better chance for that. And for international students, you do also need to, leave some time for your student visa application as well. Now during COVID, services in Hong Kong has basically resumed. I mean, we don't have any quarantine, but still, would be great if, you allow a bit more time for your student visa application. So for deadline, if you really have to go for round 3, be sure that you have your GMAT score ready, because that will be quite close to commencement of your next year of study. If you're applying for round 2, you can still have some bit of buffer time for your GMAT score preparation or your English test preparation. But again, if you want to get a confirmed result on any scholarship, the scores are mandatory. Okay, so you need to be ready to submit your score so that if you get a confirmed offer with scholarship or not. So again, if you have any question, please feel free to contact us, our admission advisors. I will be very happy to answer to questions about the program or the application. Of course, like through Amy-san, that would be very welcomed as well.
Thank you. はい。なので、一応次、ラウンド3まであるんですけど、できればラウンド2までにね、出すことをお勧めします。アルファで準備すれば、ラウンド2までに十分、ちょっと急ぎではあるんですけど、年末年始とかのお休みもありますし、あと、アドミッションの方にね、直接ご紹介とかして、しっかりレジュメとかを作った上で、ご紹介をして、全員ではないんですけど、やっぱり行きたい希望が強い方とか、しっかりと長期ゴールを作って、本当に HKUST がキャリアにとって、 一番合ってる学校だよねとかっていう方は、アドミッションの方にご紹介して、そうするとですね、かなりスムーズにアプリケーションが進むということもアルファではよくありますし、あとは、特に奨学金とか狙ってる方は早めに出された方がいいと思いますし、アルファでですね、ちょうど12月の31日まで、年末の特別ジャンボ宝くじというか、特別ジャンボキャンペーンでですね、年末まで今 MBA の出願サポートが非常にお得に受けられる期間になっているので、HKUST もそうですし、他の学校もそうなんですけど、お正月休みとかにですね、じっくりキャリアについて考えて、一気にアプリケーション準備してしまおうという方もすごく多いので、ぜひ、この機会を活用して、この11月11日までにアプリケーションもして、あとテスト対策もそこまでね、すっごいハイスコアを求められていて、そうしないとどうしてもっていうことでもない、全体的な評価になりますので、ぜひそのあたりもご相談いただければと思います。はい。ということで、So thank you for today's session.
Thank you so much, Emi-san. And I wish all of the applications good luck on your application journey.
Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
では、失礼いたします。